Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Anup Kokne and here we discuss about the Indian stock market indices on a day-to-day basis. So let's start with the analysis of Nifty and then we will also do it for Bank Nifty. We would not be doing it for FinNifty today because FinNifty had a monthly expiry today and we may not have the options contract been built for them and I typically do a confluence of the options contracts along with the price action, so we would not do it for FinNifty. So let's start with Nifty. So Nifty definitely started today. It opened at the CPR and it pretty much came down to the support levels of support one, and then taking the support from there, it came back to the position of where it opened. So not much of a net momentum that was seen on Nifty. Otherwise, there was a down move which we could have caught today in the morning for almost 700. So 70 points. Otherwise, there was not much of a net momentum that was seen on Nifty, and someone playing delta neutral strategies on Nifty would have made decent returns today, right? So let's look on to the daily time frame. So as we saw, there was definitely a negative bias, and then it was recovered in the more recovered in the later session from the support one. So Nifty is definitely seeing a good amount of profit booking from the investors, and which is a good sign. I would say once you hit the all-time high, that's how the sentiments of the investors are to book in some amount of profit and then start building in the new positions once we hit the support levels, right? So that's exactly what's been seen in Nifty, and I would anticipate Nifty to fall down another 2 to 300 points before we start seeing in some amount of buying pressure coming in at 19,400 and 19,300, which also happens to be an 20 MA and the key support level for Nifty, right? So let's start looking at the intraday time frame and get an understanding of what can be traded for tomorrow. Nifty definitely is negative with the price trading below 80 MA, but at the same time, it's still above 200 MA. So I would not be very much bearish on Nifty. I would say that it is in the consolidation range until we don't break 19,300. I wouldn't say that we would be getting into a selling zone for Nifty. So it's definitely into consolidation, and this may happen for the next 2 days until the expiry happens on this Thursday for July month. So that's how I see it for Nifty. Now moving on to the lower time frames, the intermediate time frame of 10 minutes. So this has been, I think it can be reviewed in terms of the lower highs. Yeah. So if you look at this, the price has been sliding in downwards. Once we saw this gap down that happened a couple of days ago, and then the price is moving downwards, and I anticipate this to come down and stop until 19,300, and then we would get a bounce from there to 19,500 and 600 maybe in the next few days. Let's quickly look on to the weekly CPRs and try to get an understanding. So if you look at the weekly CPR, the weekly CPR is holding as a good resistance for this particular week. So 19,800 and 19,750 is going to be a good strike levels in terms of the resistance. And as we spoke about in the previous time frame, on the higher time frames, 19,300 and 400 is going to be a good support. But the intermediate support can be seen at 19,550 and 19,500, right? So that's how I anticipate Nifty to be traded for the next 2 weeks before we complete this expiry. Let's look on to the CPR for tomorrow, the daily CPR. So this s- so CPR definitely has been declining downwards and it's been in a descending trend, which means that there has been the bearishness in terms of the price action and the movement that's been seen. At the same time, we also see a narrow CPR, which means that there could be a trending day tomorrow. Now, this could be trending on either side. So you could see a sell-off coming in the morning and then the recovery in the afternoon, or it could be an gap up and then you get to see, the selling pressure coming in from 19,700 and moving towards 19,500 and 400, right? But the markets seem to be definitely trending for tomorrow. We will probably get a better understanding once we start looking at the options contract. So now if I look at the options contract on Nifty, so we'll have a holistic view first. So there has been 9.5 CR call contracts and then 6.5 CR put contracts. So definitely there are 3 CR more contracts on the calls, and that's how aggressive the sellers are at the levels of 19,800 and then 19,700, where the delta of what you get to see in terms of the more number of call writing that's happened has been seen. So 19,700 is the key level where we could see 25 lakh contracts that's been written today. And then 19450 and 19400 are the 19450 and 19500 are the two levels where you get to see a decent amount of put writing that's been written today, but it's not as big as you get to see at 19700, right? So we can definitely get to see more amount of selling pressure coming in for tomorrow, but we can only confirm once we get to see the opening print in the morning and see how the price action shapes up. All right, now quickly moving on to Bank Nifty. So let's start looking at Bank Nifty. Um, so let's see how the price action played in today. So if you look at the CPRs for today, I think Bank Nifty, sorry, I was looking at Nifty. So Bank Nifty definitely opened up with a gap up today with 150, 160 points. However, since it was at the supply zone, immediately we got to see a lot of selling coming in at this particular level, so 46,200. And the price was aggressively pushed down until support 2, which was at 45,600. So there was a good 600 points movement on the lower side that was seen in Bank Nifty. But at the end of the day, post 2 p.m. Or I think almost 1:30 p.m., we got to see a good recovery also coming in with 250 to 300 points, and the price started closing at the previous day low, right, which was at 45,850. Bank Nifty is also bearish in comparison to Nifty. I would say it's more bearish in comparison to Nifty. Now, look at the daily charts. Yes, it opened with a gap up and then it started sliding down the last candle, but you could see a buying pressure coming in at this level of support which we had drawn yesterday, and that's what pushed the prices upwards, right? Quickly getting on to intraday time frames, you look at the hourly chart. Uh, the hour chart is again pretty much into the consolidation where the price is trading in between the 20 MA and 200 MA. I would not consider the price to be unidirectional until I don't get to see the price action been happening on either on where the price is above both the 20 MA as well as 200 MA if I have to if I have to build a bullish bias, or it should be below both of this 200 MA as well as 20 MA to give me a bearish bias, right? So it's pretty much in between this, and that's what indicates me the consolidation that's going to happen for tomorrow. Now let's look at the intermediate time frame, which is the 15 minutes chart to build a view. The price is definitely trading, with the lower highs that we get to see on a day-to-day basis. Now, if I draw a trend line and see how the price action is building up for the last few days, I think definitely we are seeing a lot of lower lows it's getting over here. I think the resistance could come in at the levels of 46,100, which was the opening levels of today. And then we could see the downward selling pressure coming in there until 46,600 if it opens with a gap up or starts moving upwards. Otherwise, if it gets a gap down, then probably we could get to see the levels of 45,300. And if that breaks down, we could see 45,000, right? So as we can